Very clearly, that the Quran says that to kill one person is as you have killed the entire mankind.
Can you
save one person is as if you have saved the entire mankind.
Can you carry on reading that verse?
من قتل نفسا بغير نفس أو فساد في الأرض فكأنما قتل الناس جميعا ومن أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا.
Can I translate what you said? Unless they cause mischief, and they must have their hands and feet cut off and exiled from the land. Are you from Britain?
Yes, I am from
I
Britain.
knew you was from Britain, and I see you.
I've seen you a lot, mate.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Nice to meet you. What's your name?
My name's Umar.
Omar.
Yeah.
Omar, we're obviously in Jerusalem.
Yep.
We're just understanding the complexity of the Jewish side and the Muslim side.
Yeah.
What's your view as a British Muslim on the state of Israel?
I have no issue. As long as people are living in peace, if they have their side, they have their country, and the Palestinians have their own kind of safe spot where they can live freely without under any oppression or any injustice, then I think this is the solution for peace in the Middle East.
See, I wasn't expecting to hear that, because I didn't expect to hear many Muslims that would recognise the Israeli state.
Okay. No, I have no issue. The Israelis, they've been living here for thousands of years. They have a rich history in this part of the Middle East.
Where are you from, bro?
I'm from Britain.
Whereabouts?
Leicester.
Leicester, okay.
Yeah. And if they want to live in this part of the country, in this part of the region of the world, then they can. But what the issue of the mainly Muslim majority population is, as long as they live in peace together, as long as there's not this oppression and injustice taking place, then we have no problem.
What would you say if
you look at throughout Muslim history, you'll see that when the Crusaders came, then Jewish people expelled from Jerusalem. But when the Muslims ruled, then the Christians, Muslims and Jewish people lived in peace and harmony.
As long as they paid the jizya?
Of course, as long as they pay the tax, which we live in Britain.
As long as they were subjugated?
No, as long as they live freely. If you read history, there was no oppression, there was no occupation.
Providing they paid special money for protection.
Just like we do pay our taxes.
But the Muslims didn't have to pay the same tax.
The Muslims have to pay extra. They have to pay zakah, they have to pay ushr.
Charity towards Muslims?
No, that goes to the community, Baytul Mal. That goes back to the the same concept of taxes.
Can I ask you? So, what would you say if I've just told you I've walked along this shopping street in the Muslim quarter?
Yep.
I've spoke to many Muslim business owners who said they love the state of Israel.
Yeah, that's fine.
But that surprised you? It surprised me.
I don't think so.
But they said they're happy living here and they haven't faced discrimination and they feel fairly treated under the state of Israel.
That's perfectly fine. As long as they're happy, they're living in peace and security, I see no issue with this. And if they have no issue with it, then I have no issue with it.
What's your name?
Omer.
More Muslims like I'm here, yeah?
No, I'm just for peace. I don't like this fighting taking place.
What can I ask your view?
Of course.
The British government just recognised the state of Palestine.
Yeah. I think that's a great move.
Okay, but the Palestinian Authority, who control the state of Palestine, they have a rule and a law where they pay money to people from the refugee camps, Muslims, to go and kill Israelis.
Okay.
So they reward people for murdering innocent civilians.
Okay, yeah.
Is that a good thing?
No, of course not. Definitely.
So how can we as a country recognise them?
Very clearly, that the Quran says that to kill one person is as you have killed the entire mankind.
Can you
save one person is as if you have saved the entire mankind.
Can you carry on reading that verse?
من قتل نفسا بغير نفس أو فساد في الأرض فكأنما قتل الناس جميعا ومن أحياها فكأنما أحيا الناس جميعا.
Can I translate what you said? Unless they cause mischief, and they must have their hands and feet cut off and exiled from the land.
That's not up to Tom, Dick and Harry to decide. That is up to a qualified judge to decide. And if you look in Ottoman history, you'll find very few scenarios where that actually took place.
Can I ask, who's Ibn Kathir?
Ibn Kathir is a great mufassir and Muslim theologian.
Is he very good? Is he recognised well?
Yes.
Ibn Kathir translates the word mischief as meaning not believing in Allah.
Okay.
So that verse that you just quoted.
That's his.
But you just said he's a great scholar. That word that you just that verse that you just translated, according to that great Islamic scholar, translates that mischief, not believing in Allah, must be punished by death, execution.
That's his opinion. Now,
you just said he's a great Islamic scholar, yeah? He's one of the most renowned in the world.
That doesn't mean I have to agree with everything he says. As for example,
but do you understand why we have a problem when a million?
As a human being, I don't agree with the majority of your views. But that doesn't mean I don't support your journalism. That doesn't mean I agree with the work that you are doing.
Okay,
I am
so
happy
fair.
with that.
But what I'm saying is, do you understand why, if we've got an Islamic scholar
Yeah.
who's one of the most renowned in the world,
Yeah.
he translates
Yeah.
the verse that you just quoted to say kill non-Muslims?
Yeah, but if you look at see, one thing is what's on paper. If you look at the example of how the Islamic society and the Islamic caliphate ruled for the past 13 centuries, you will find that isn't the case.
What about the ISIS caliphate?
We don't agree with that at all. That is.
What sect are you from, sir?
I'm a Sunni.
You're a Sunni?
Yes.
Okay.
The ISIS caliphate was not. I can't even call it a caliphate. That was completely against the Quran and Sunnah. Everything that they did is completely against, and I can see freely and openly that they are they are not Muslims at all. Even Hamas. Hamas, they some of the teachings that they propagate and some of the things they have carried out is against Muslim teachings.
Are you an imam?
Yes, I am an imam.
At a mosque in Leicester?
Nottingham.
In Nottingham?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting chat, bro.
And I follow you on social media quite a lot, and I applaud
Do you
you for your patriotism. But unfortunately, I think that you have maybe got the wrong picture and the wrong version of Islam. And I've watched your podcast. I know you have Muslim friends in growing up in Luton, and I think the area where you have grown up in was mainly was it Pakistani Kashmiri Muslims.
Pakistani
right?
Kashmiri.
And then
Are you Indian?
Yes, I am.
Deobandi?
Gujarati. Yes.
Deobandi?
And you'll notice that the Gujaratis, Deobandis, generally they are more kind of welcoming, and they are less inclined to this kind of violence and sectarianism.
What about Tablighi Jamaat, the mosque?
Yes,
That's your main mosque?
No, I'm not part of the group, but I know people that are part of the group.
Okay.
What do you think about Ali Dawa and people like Ali Dawa?
People like them, I don't really have any inclination towards those kind of people. I don't really agree what they kind of do. Going out to the streets and forcing people and being aggressive. I've seen some of his videos. He can be quite aggressive. That kind of approach, I'm more of a gentle person. I like talking to people.
What about his ideology? What do you believe?
I don't. What in terms of?
In terms of
He's a Muslim. I'm a Muslim.
Do you know, let me ask you. So say, like, for example, in your perfect society, yours,
Yes.
forget Britain,
Yeah.
what you would love to see for the whole world or your country or where you live, what should, in that nation, what would you put the legal age for sex as?
I'm not a legislator. I'm not familiar with the law, so I can't give an answer to that question.
No, in your society, if you could govern society, you're an imam, in your ideal society, what would the rules be around?
There is no specific age. Whatever the culture of that and the norm of that society is, that would be the legal age. So, for example, in medieval Britain, the age was very young.
But what about now? What about now?
Moved on. So now the norm of society would be that 18 plus. And if somebody was to get married younger, I wouldn't agree with that because it's not the custom and the norm of this age. So Islam is unique that it follows the customs and traditions of the society, the community.
Doesn't it wish to? So wasn't Muhammad perfect?
Of course he was.
So wouldn't it be about implementing the way Muhammad lived?
He never preached this. He never commanded us to do this. The Quran clearly says to marry women that there's no age restriction, there's no limit. It's based on the norm and culture of that society. So if you look at medieval Britain, so many kings, even in the Bible, many examples of...
Richard Lionheart had an 11-year-old wife.
Yeah, exactly.
But we don't want to emulate Richard Lionheart. But can I ask one more question, Mo? You've watched...
I need to run for prayer.
Okay, sorry, man. You've watched a lot of my content, yeah?
Yes, I have, yeah.
Do you think I hate Muslims?
I wouldn't say you hate Muslims, but I think you have sort of hatred and a misunderstanding, a misconstrued understanding of what Islam is. And I believe that's because of maybe the environment you grew up in and the things that you saw growing up. You mind if I take a picture?
Of course not, bro. Of course not. Of course.
Take it.
I'll prank you, so you got it? Take it. See you later, man. See you later, bro. Let's go straight in his group chat.
I saw. I've just arrived on Monday, so when I saw that you're in Israel, I thought maybe I might even bump into him. Never expected I'll have an interview with him, but thank you.
He's great.
Of course. Yeah.
Cheers, bro. Thanks for your openness, yeah? Thanks for talking.
Have a
Cheers.
good day.
See you later. See you later. He was nice.
That was good.
He was nice. Let me ask him why you're not allowed
No,
in.
it's fine.
Let me ask him.
I don't want to cause any trouble.
Can't film them?
I don't want to cause any trouble.
No, but
1 second. He'll
hold on. I want to know why you're not allowed in.
Don't worry, it's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I want to know why you're not allowed in. I want to know why you're not allowed in.
I don't know. But see, we believe that every step you take to the mosque is rewarding. So whether
We've just been told, because we were told Jews can't walk up there. We were told Jews can't go in there.
Okay.
That's what we just got told. Why can't he go in? Can you go in? See if you can go in, Evan. No one can go in.
Jews can't go in, only Muslims are allowed that.
Only Muslims are allowed in this.
Only Muslims are allowed in that way.
So what did he say to you?
Maybe now he thinks you're. Maybe now they think you're a kafar because you're with me.
That's the first time I've ever seen that, because
Yeah.
Muslims are allowed up there.
No,
Jews,
I've been-
infidels, and monkeys
I
have
wasn't-
to go through the ramp.
I wasn't allowed. I wasn't allowed in the morning as well.
Infidels and monkeys.
You weren't allowed in the morning either.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed in the morning too. And yesterday I
They
wasn't.
asked you for your passport. Is it because it's a British passport?
I think it's because it's British and they think that most British people support Palestine, and so they have this kind of.
No, that's not good.
I'm not
All tourists.
Because his government what?
Because his government go to Lahai to the judge for Israel and Gaza. This is the reason.
Because the British government is saying because the British government probably recognise the state of Palestine, he's a British passport holder. That may be why he's not allowed. So this is Keir Starmer's fault. What do you think of Keir Starmer?
To be honest, I don't like him as well.
You don't like him?
No.
Can you say Keir Starmer's a wanker?
I'm not going to say that. I don't. As a Muslim, I don't use.
You don't want to swear, I get it, especially as an imam.
language, yeah.
Okay, fair play.
But,
What's your view on Keir Starmer's government?
to be honest, when we voted for him, we expected Labour government and the Labour government for the people. But unfortunately, it's been quite the opposite. The hike in taxes and the cut in benefits and for elderly, so many things that they've done that they promised not to do, but they've.
So you as a voter of Keir Starmer, who would you vote for in the next election?
To be honest with you, I don't know.
Reform?
All the politicians that I see.
Reform?
That would be. See, the issue on immigration, I agree with it to a certain extent. See, my parents were born in this country, but my grandparents were immigrants from Africa and from India, and they came and they worked hard. They came, they lived in houses, 4 or 5 people together. They worked and then they earned the money. Now they all have their own houses. See, but the problem with the influx of immigrants now is that they are coming just to kind of benefit from the system without contributing to society, and I think that's problematic.
Okay.
And I have also this issue as well, that so many of them are coming and they're committing crimes. And again, this goes back to not following Islam correctly. See, rape, Islam prohibits sex outside of marriage.
Unless at war.
That's a whole different discussion and topic.
But if at war, Muslims can take non-Muslim women as sexual slaves?
They can't just take it just like that. There's rules, regulations.
Rules and regulations, but some of the verses in the Quran say that outside your full wives, take whatever your right arm possesses,
Yeah.
you are blameless.
Yeah. So, if you have attained a slave girl due to the correct conditions,
What correct conditions can there be for a slave girl?
it's a prisoner of war. So, if a female is captured as a prisoner of war,
Like the Jewish ladies who were just taken by Hamas?
no, because that wasn't. That would not be classified as the jihad, would it?
But it was to them, to Hamas.
To them.
And it was to Boko Haram, and it was to ISIS with the Yazidis.
All those groups, I don't agree with them at all.
I know you don't agree with them, but you understand that they take the verses.
Yeah.
They take the verse in the Quran,
Yeah, of
which
course.
legitimise slave girls.
Yes. So that's again due to a lack of correct understanding, or maybe just the Prophet ﷺ himself said in a hadith, a time will come when people will read the Quran, but it will not pass their neck, meaning they will read the Quran and act upon the verses, but it will not enter into their hearts. They will not practice and understand the Quran correctly.
Do you think maybe with the explosion of rape in Rotherham, in Telford, across the country, do you think maybe some of those people are taking these same verses that Boko Haram, ISIS and Hamas are taking?
I don't think so. The people who are behind these, what do you call them?
Grooming, they call them.
gangs, they are probably the most illiterate people in regards to Islam. You look at them, you'll be able to tell they probably don't even know a verse of the Quran. And so they are just hungry men who are feeding on young girls, unfortunately. And see,
When we say
it doesn't make sense, because to have a Muslim grooming gang, Islam doesn't allow grooming and raping.
Why do you think then, if they're just hungry men, why do you think there's not gangs of hungry Hindu men or hungry Sikh men?
They are out there, but maybe they are not as many because the Muslim population is much more. And number two, they are not highlighted as much as the Muslim crimes are highlighted. So for example, there are also British grooming gangs as well, white British. And I'm sure you've seen them as well. Now, they are much more compared to the Muslim grooming gangs, but they are highlighted much more.
if I went into the statistics and the numbers, yeah, Muslim men make up 90% of the convictions for gangs of men, groups of men who come together to rape young girls. Why do you think they're so overrepresented?
I have no idea.
No, okay.
Completely.
Are we allowed to? Do you think we are allowed to explore if there is a religious justification for it? Can we have that open discussion around Islam?
Would, but I doubt there would be any religious justification for that at all.
This is a fascinating discussion with this going on in the background, though. With this going on in the background, though.
Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. This is
Jerusalem.
This is a special, unique thing about Jerusalem is that all three religions have lived in harmony for the past 9-10 centuries.
Do you know what they're singing about?
No.
They happen to be singing about the fact that one day there'll be a temple, that God will bring the temple back, like it's over.
Wow. It's been a pleasure meeting you, man. Talk to you. Thank you.